Good day. Welcome to your news at noon on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. American oil giant ExxonMobil Corporation was named among 3 U.S. oil majors who are lagging behind with their Global Reporting Initiative standard tax reports, the world's most utilized corporate reporting framework. This is according to Ian Gary, director of the Financial Accountability and Corporate Transparency Coalition. This coalition is a U.S.-based organization that fights offshore tax abuses, promotes transparency in corporate ownership and operations, and advocates anti-money laundering policies. We reported that on Monday, Oxfam filed a shareholders' resolution against ExxonMobil, Chevron, and ConocoPhillips, calling them out on their alleged secretive tax practices. Oxfam's resolution asked the companies to publish tax transparency reports in line with the GRI standard and highlighted that despite repeated requests from themselves and others, Exxon, Chevron, and ConocoPhillips have declined to release a tax report in line with this standard. And in other news, opposition leader Aubrey Norton on Tuesday accused the PPP of failing to safely manage Guyana's burgeoning oil and gas sector. Norton at his weekly press conference referenced the Auditor General's report which flagged the unavailability of equipment to respond to large oil spills, even as oil production increases. The opposition leader insisted that the government must be removed from office for better management to prevail. Norton surmised that the government does not have a comprehensive approach to managing the oil and gas sector. As an example, he referred to the recent announcement by Attorney General Anil Nandlal that regulations will soon be put in place to govern the Local Content Act. And now let's tell you, Guyana asked the International Court of Justice to dismiss an application by Venezuela which sought to strike down this country's case for a judicial settlement of the decades-old border controversy. Now, the ICJ, the principal judicial organ of the UN, has concluded hearings on the preliminary objections raised by Venezuela in the case concerning the arbitral award of October 3, 1899, Guyana versus Venezuela. Professor Philip Sands, one of Guyana's lawyers, highlighted the inconsistencies in the arguments presented by Venezuela. The lawyer said that the burden is on Venezuela to prove its contention that the arbitration process was corrupted. And moving on, with sections of Georgetown knee-deep waters result of heavy rains, the Ministry of Agriculture said the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority has stepped up its monitoring of all pumps and sluices in the city. In a press release Tuesday evening, the ministry said following approximately 4 inches of rainfall recorded and the anticipated high-intensity rainfall in the coming days, a team from the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, led by Zulfikar Mustafa, inspected drainage pumps and sluices in the city with the view of making any necessary interventions to avoid any flooding as a result of anticipated rainfall. And just before we head to a short break, let's tell you that no decision has been made by opposition leader Aubrey Norton on the fate of the AFC members of parliament, even as the party has signaled its intent to leave the coalition come December 31st. Norton said the AFC has yet to communicate its decision to leave the coalition to him. The opposition leader was unable to state what options exist should the AFC formally notify him of their exit. However, Clerk of the National Assembly, Sherlock Isaacs, in an invited comment, said that Norton has no power to recall the opposition MPs. The time has now moved on to 12 hours 7 in Guyana. We'll take a short break and return with your news.
Right now, children are at an increased risk of sexual abuse, and the perpetrator can be nearer than you think. So stay alert and be aware. Be aware of your neighbors. Be aware of your friends. Be aware of the people you have in your home. Do not become complacent. Protect children now. You can make a report to the police or call the CPA hotline on 227-0979.
A message from the Child Care and Protection Agency, Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, and UNICEF.
It's Giftland's biggest sale ever this Black Friday from Friday, November 18th up until Friday, November 25th. Get up to 80% off on selected items in store. We have huge discounts on electronics, household, clothing, shoes, accessories, cosmetics, furniture, and more. VIP customers enjoy exclusive discounts from Friday, November 18th to Sunday, November 20th. Get your Christmas shopping done now and save big.
Welcome back to your news at noon. Leston Baines, the 28-year-old truck driver who was the suspect in the stabbing death of 22-year-old Kelly Charlotte, was on Tuesday morning found dead in an abandoned house at Wismar Linden. This was confirmed by Commander Hugh Winter of Regional Police Division 10. Police were on the hunt for the 28-year-old man following the killing of Charlotte on Sunday night. On Sunday night, Baines stabbed Charlotte, a teacher of Christianburg Primary School and mother of his son, to death at 1 Mile Extension, Wismar Linden. Meanwhile, police have arrested 2 suspects who were wanted in connection with the murder of Dexter McFarlane of Lang Avenue, West Grimeville, Georgetown. The duo was arrested on at number 53 Village, Carrington, Berbice on Monday. Regional Commander Shiv Prasad Bacchus said the men, one of whom is a teenager, were arrested between 16 hours and 17 hours 45 during an intelligence-led operation. The older suspect has been identified as 23-year-old Shamroy Patterson, a security guard of Castello Housing Scheme and Linden, and the other suspect is a 16-year-old of Alboystown. The duo is currently assisting police with investigations. Meanwhile, police Tuesday night issued a wanted bulletin for 30-year-old Andrew Ridley of 173 Campbell Street, Alboystown, Georgetown. In other news, the International Labour Organization, or ILO, has completed 2 separate studies on the skills needed for the oil and gas and construction sectors here and will present the findings on November 30th. The reports provide an overview of the main profiles and competencies needed in either industry during the period 2022 and 2026, as resulting from dedicated establishment surveys and interviews with local stakeholders. So said ILO. The UN agency said the information can contribute to shaping the ongoing reform of the education and training system in Guyana to address issues of access, equity, quality and relevance in relation to the changing demands of the economic and social environment. And to wrap things up, the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs, in collaboration with the Ministry of Legal Affairs, will be establishing a committee that will be responsible for consultations on the revision of the Amerindian Act before the end of this year. Amerindian Affairs Minister Pauline Dukai, while meeting with residents of Kaburi Region 7, recently made a disclosure. The committee will be responsible for making recommendations and engaging with every single Amerindian community to solicit recommendations that will eventually make up the amended Amerindian Act. And at this time, we turn the pages of today's Kaieteur News to page 7, dedicated to being blunt. Opposition finding its voice on oil. At long last, the APNU-AFC coalition opposition is stepping up on oil. The Guyanese people hope that its energy and newfound vigor on oil will last. In 2016, contract terms are so bad that even the opposition who signed it wants better. As the opposition finds its voice, the PPP feeling its way. It is no way, Jose. Not with Master Routledge, Golden Child. And that brings us to the end of today's News at Noon. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening. And that's the news of the moment. Remember, to get the full details of these stories, pick up a copy of the Kaieteur News. And don't forget, you can catch us on the MyTuner app as well.